Alright, third time making this video. Screw it. It's just gonna happen how it's gonna happen. So guys, what I want to do in this video is talk about my plans. What I'm doing and where all this stuff's going. As you may know, I sold my 84 C10 and I really hated to sell that truck. I'm sure I'm gonna regret selling that truck. But it was really the right thing to do for me at this time in my life. What I've come to realize is that I just don't have the time and the money to be maintaining and building project trucks anymore. Right now it's more important that I kind of start to develop a career and kind of move on with my life. So I've decided to cut down quite a bit on what I have, even though this video may seem kind of contradictory to that. That is kind of my goal. And what my plans are as of right now, which could change tomorrow, but hopefully won't, is that the 77, I'm going to be holding on to that because I really enjoy using that truck, and I put a lot of time into that truck. I mean, I took it from basically something that was probably headed to the junkyard and brought it all the way back to something that I can reliably use. So that's going to get finished up here. It'll be getting a nice paint job and everything. I mean, not too nice because we're still going to four-wheel it, but nicer than the rattle can it's got on it now. And I'm going to be keeping the Willys. The Willys has become my new kind of project vehicle, my new hot rod, my new nice vehicle, kind of replacing the black truck in that respect. So it's had 2 motors in it so far, and I've only driven it about a quarter of a mile. Had it since 2007. So yeah, it's long overdue. It's got to get done, or it's got to get sold because it's just getting ridiculous. So it's going to get done. It's going to get that Buick, and we're going to be seeing a nice, you know, driver out of that vehicle. I've kind of moved off to making things perfect. I don't like perfect things because then you worry about them and you're always trying to freaking clean them and polish them and do all that stuff. I'd rather just have nice driver stuff. You know, something that you're happy to kind of show off. It's presentable, but not something that you're so worried about. You know, because what I've learned is that once you have that perfect vehicle, then it's just a pain. Because then it gets a scratch and then you get all bummed out or whatever. It's not fun. So I just want nice driver quality stuff from now on. Maybe later in life I'll do like a nice restore on something, but for now I'm just going to kind of keep things nice, but not over the top, because I still want to be able to use them and enjoy them. So to that end, keeping this Puch Maxi Lux. That's a really nice old original condition moped. Keeping the Magnum 2 I have, and then old reliable here. It's a 79 or 76, I can never remember. Maxi, it's got a Maxi S motor on it, and I literally have ridden this thing everywhere. Last year I rode it every single day. And I'm not just talking about, you know, on the weekends or to and from work. I mean, I rode it every day, through the winter, through the snow, through the blizzards, everything. And it just was dead reliable. It's been a great moped. Now it needs a little TLC, as you can see. I need to do a base gasket, a couple other things in it. Or a case gasket, rather. But I'm going to go through, probably clean up, maybe rebuild the motor a little bit. New cables, get it all dialed in so that whoever buys it, you know, has a nice quality moped that's going to last them a long time, and it's going to be just as reliable as it's been for me. So, hate to see it go, but, you know, I don't need 3 mopeds, especially now that I have that Honda. It doesn't make sense. I don't know, the Honda, I like it, but at the same time, I might sell that too, and just get down to 2 mopeds. And like I said, it's just too much stuff to maintain. Also, I did do a trade, and I picked up this, which is a little bit, probably going to be a little bit more fun to ride than that CT90. So yeah, that kind of factors into that decision as well. I was told this was a 1991 Honda CR125. I can't verify that, and I'm hoping some of you guys out on YouTube will be able to help me out. I'll be the first to admit I don't know a lot about dirt bikes. My parents never allowed us to have dirt bikes. You know, dangerous and all that, so you know, I never got to mess around with them as a kid. But it's got a steel tube frame on it. It's not that newer aluminum style. It's got a rectangular carb slide on it. It's not circular. It's got the monoshock in the back, and it's got some pretty legit forks on it there. Sits up nice and high. I like the stance of this bike. Pretty small rear tire, but again, it's a 125. So obviously on the swing arm down there it says 125R, which I'm guessing R means race. I have no idea what's been done to this bike as far as alterations to the suspension, or forks or anything like that, but like I said, it seems pretty beefy for a 125, but I know that the older ones used to be a lot bigger than the new ones. So my plan for this is to kind of fix it up, get it running, play around with it. You know, if I like it and I'm happy with it, I'll hold on to it, and I'll sell the other bike, or maybe I'll sell it to my dad and he can register it and drive it on the road. Or I will just fix it up and sell it. Or if it becomes too much money to fix it up, then I'll sell it as a basket case to somebody else. Somebody else will have a new project. I didn't go out and buy this. I traded my 6.2 diesel for it. I had that 6.2 for sale for 8 months, and I was just ready to get rid of it. I had it for sale for $300 cash, and nobody came and got it. So when this trade popped up, I figured, hell, this bike's worth at least $300 in parts. So I bought it, or traded for it. And in so doing, I definitely got some words of wisdom for people doing trades. Now, I know a lot of this stuff, but again, I was just so happy to get rid of that motor, I didn't really care. Some stuff, if you really do care, things to keep in mind. First of all, if you're going to get a bike, especially if it's a street legal bike, make sure you can read the VIN plate on it. This one, I don't know if it's been taken off or it's been painted over, but it's a steel frame, and the kid painted it black, and I can't find any numbers on it, so who knows what year it is or anything like that. If you were going to buy a street bike, that would be a big red flag. You do not want that on a street bike. But on a dirt bike, who cares? The other thing too is it's a lot better if you can have a person, especially if you're buying a basket case, have them assemble it fully. If they assemble it fully, they're going to find any parts that they're missing, and they'll look for them. If they give it to you in boxes like how I got this bike, you're going to be missing shit. It's just the way it goes. People lose stuff. How many times have you worked on something and lost a bolt or a screw? I mean, everybody does it. You can be as methodical as you want. The more organized you are, the better. But in the end, you're going to lose stuff. Everybody does. Just part of working on stuff. I mean, you really try to minimize it. I've gotten a lot better at it than I used to be, but occasionally I'll still lose a piece or two. Or you'll find a random screw and go, where'd that come from? Or where does that go? Not a big deal if you're, just doing sheet metal work, but if you're building an engine and you end up with an extra rod or something at the end of the day, you're like, that's not good. So on this, it's got radiators on it, so it is water cooled. And I was talking about the trade. I did the trade at night. That really bit me in the ass. Again, be smart about these things. I didn't really care. I figured the parts alone on this bike were worth it to me. So it's got hydraulic disc brakes front and back. It's pretty cool. If anybody could help me ID the year on this thing, that'd be great. I do have the gas tank, but I'm missing the shrouds for the front radiators. If we go over here, guys, I'm sorry about the lights. It's just fluorescent lights. They make that drone. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it. This is the motor that was on the bike. The guys I got it from pulled this off because they said after third gear they had no power. Now, to me, that sounds like a fuel delivery issue, a reed issue, or a power valve issue. They thought it was a transmission issue, so they ripped the whole thing apart, supposedly. Supposedly it's got a new Wisco top end in it, new piston ring, fresh cylinder, which might be true, I'm not sure yet. It's also supposed to have a brand new clutch in it, again, not sure, find out. He told me he split the cases, but by the amount of oil that's coming out of it, still transmission fluid and whatnot, I don't know if he really did. He might have tore it down a little bit, but we'll see. It does have compression, feels pretty strong. Transmission does shift, so this is half the battle right there. But getting back to my point about buying things or doing trades, never buy or trade anything in the dark. You will get burned, and I've gotten burned a few times on that. Again, on this, I didn't really care, but I've bought vehicles in the dark before, and then they turn out to be a rust bucket, and it sucks. But again, life lesson there, you got to learn from it. So the big thing on this that really bummed me out is that right there. The right hand side case by the rear mount, this kind of goes to the bolt that holds the swing arm and the motor into the frame. Obviously huge chunks missing there. The kid had to know about it. Maybe he didn't pay attention, maybe he didn't, I don't know. I'm not going to, you know, bash him and say he deliberately sold me something with a cracked case, but it's definitely something I'm not happy about. Depending on the internal condition of this engine, I may put a case half on it. I may just try to patch it. I mean, it's not all the way through, but it is dang close. You can see right there. And it does have an inner sleeve, so it's not horrible, but again, it's just not something I am happy with. If I do end up fixing up and selling this bike, I will let the new owner know about that, because it is something that you should know. Again, though, being a dirt bike, it's kind of something that you should probably not expect, but it really happens on these a lot. I've seen a lot of them with cracked cases, you know, stripped out kickstarts that have been welded, all that crazy stuff, because it's a dirt bike. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be fun. So it's a 125cc. Also got this FMF gold fatty pipe. Of course, it's got some boot dings and probably hitting stumps and whatnot, but hey, you know, it's better than stock pipe, so that should be good. And we're just going to be putting this thing back together and hopefully having some fun with it. And then either selling it or selling the CT, or I don't know, something's got to go. I know earlier I've been talking about projects and how I'm trying to downsize, and like I said, the reason I got this was because I needed to get rid of that engine, and this allowed me to do that. It's also something I've kind of wanted for a while. But like I said, if it turns out to be this big money pit or a big time pit, you know, it's nice right now because it's really cold outside, so you can be in the basement working on this thing, getting it together. And parts are pretty cheap, but if it starts to get, you know, looking like it's going to be too much, I will have to cut it loose and let it go. But if anybody knows what year this bike is just by looking at the plastics or the frame or anything like that, or can you just give me a range or a range on that engine so I know what to look for, that would be great. Would really help with buying parts and things like that. I'm sure I can pull some numbers off the cases, I just haven't got that far into it yet. I haven't touched it since I traded for it, it's just been sitting down here. So that's where I'm at with projects, guys, and kind of a general overview of where everything's at. Also, we obviously got to redo this basement pretty soon. So, lots of projects, not much time, same old story. Hope to be cutting down on stuff even more, and just enjoying things. Enjoying using some of this stuff instead of just building it all the time. Getting out in the woods, going hiking, going boating, going camping, you know, having fun, enjoying life instead of being stuck in a garage or under a truck all the time trying to fix it. So you guys, if feel free to leave a comment if you have any clues on this old Honda here. Give me a shout, and hope to be making a couple more videos this week, and hope you guys enjoy. So take care, and catch you on the next one.